The MLB deadline is heating up. The Miami Marlins make moves as well as the Oakland Athletics and many more teams coming up right now. The Miami Marlins made a ton of moves today by trading Starlin Marte and Yimi Garcia. I will tell you that return now, as well as other players on the move, like the Yankees making a bullpen move, as well as the Seattle Mariners.
Alright guys, so very quickly, as of the recording of the video I filmed originally, Joey Gallo nor Eduardo Escobar had been traded. They have now been traded to Milwaukee. Eduardo Escobar goes, and Joey Gallo goes to the Yankees. I stole another return from the Yankees, but Aaron Judge was pulled out, so I'm going to just make a separate video on the Gallo, but just quickly saying Gallo and Eduardo Escobar did get traded. Not during the time of the filming of the video, but after, so I'm not gonna really talk about them in this video. I'll probably make a separate video, day 3 of trade deadline. We're gonna make a lot of trade deadline videos until Friday, so yeah, thank you guys for understanding. I'll probably talk about Gallo and Eduardo Escobar tomorrow, but you could go on IG and check the return since I will be making a post on that. See you guys.
Making moves on the bullpen and getting a starter. Let's start with the first piece of news. Starlin Marte, that is the big talk. As I mentioned in my last video, Starlin Marte was the big fish of the outfield market, and he is officially moved. He has moved to the Oakland Athletics. I mean, who expected the Athletics to be in the conversation? I didn't, but I had an idea of it, and I'll tell you why. Athletics are a team that are very cheap, and they will get rentals to get better. That's exactly what they did now with Starlin Marte. But what they gave up is what is the biggest part of the deal. They gave up Jesus Luzardo. That is their top pitcher in the minor league system, who has had major league experience in the bullpen and as a starter. Miami will be getting a player who immediately enters the Miami Marlins starting rotation, already said by Don Mattingly. This is a guy who is going to help out the Marlins immediately. This is one hell of a player, and he does have Miami roots. He was in Stoneman Douglas Senior High School. He played for Stoneman Douglas. So it's just a great move on the end of the Miami Marlins. I will be going into deeper conversations in that move in my second channel, La Pecera de los Miami Marlins. Para mis fanáticos de béisbol que hablan español y les gustan los Miami Marlins, voy a estar hablando del cambio de Starlin Marte y el cambio de Yimi García mucho más. Voy a entrar a más detalles de ese cambio en el otro canal de nosotros, de La Pecera de los Miami Marlins, pero eso va a ser después de la fecha de cambio, entonces el sábado. When it comes to Yimi Garcia going to the Houston Astros, Miami got one heck of a player once again, Brian De La Cruz. He is an outfielder who is in AAA. He was in AAA at the time of, at the time when he was with the Houston Astros. This is a guy who has center field experience, so this could be an option for the Miami Marlins. I would be extremely surprised if he's the one that goes to center field for the future. But I'm looking right now, and I just don't see any news of the Marlins acquiring a player of a center field future caliber. The last ones I've been hearing have been really Ketel Marte. I've been hearing Cedric Mullins, Brian Reynolds, Byron Buxton, but that one's going to be like come down Miami, the baseball gods, and just get us a good trade and a good contract extension. That's not going to happen. There's also been the possibility of Marte leaving Oakland to come back to Miami in free agency. That would be the dream scenario. You get you win. This is the biggest dub the Marlins have ever taken in a trade. But going back to Yimi Garcia, it was a move that the Marlins had to make. He wasn't playing at the expectations the Marlins wanted. He had a lot of attraction and interest from other teams, and the team that really needed him the most after acquiring a lot of bullpen help was Houston. Houston got this guy for a really good outfielder that the Marlins are going to use a long way to go in the future of this team. Miami seller, they're selling the team right now. And the next player that we've been hearing possibly going away will be Richard Blyer. It sucks because I knew I had this guy ready to interview him at the end of the season. I guess we'll still interview him. I know you guys would love to see that. We'll talk to him about, the start of the season with the Marlins and the end of the season with whichever team he goes to right now. And I'm going to do a quick Twitter check right now for you guys. Okay, after a quick Twitter check, there's nothing to report on Richard Blyer or any other MLB player. But going back to trades, the New York Yankees made a deal. They dealt Luis Cessa and Justin Wilson over to the Cincinnati Reds. It was just a salary dump pretty much. But Cincinnati gets Michael Givens as well from the Colorado Rockies. So Cincinnati making moves to the bullpen. I think these are easily buyer moves. They're not going to trade Castellanos. This is a good move for the Cincinnati Reds. It's just one of those moves where you're going to get a better bullpen help on the bullpen, which is what they've needed for a long time. So it's a good deal for Cincinnati to get a guy like Michael Givens, Sesa, and then you have Wilson. Those are three great relievers who are going to help the Cincinnati Reds in the bullpen stretch. Pittsburgh Pirates made a deal with the Seattle Mariners to acquire Tyler Anderson, the starter. This is a move that's going to help out the Seattle Mariners with that starting rotation, which is a little bit banged up. I know Justin Dunn is banged up. Sheffield is banged up. So that helps a lot too. Speaking of the Seattle Mariners, they dealt their Kendall Graveman, who was dealt last night to the Houston Astros. It's such a funny situation. It's weird as well. Houston was playing the Seattle Mariners. It was a series, gets traded, and you see him the next day. He's in the opposite side of the dugout. I'm gonna try to look up the picture of this man's face in that dugout with Zach Greinke. It was like a video of him, and the caption on Twitter was Kendall Graveman getting to chatting with Zach Greinke. Greinke's not saying a word. He's just eating up little nuts. It was just a funny video. The man's just like, the next piece of news is really just the Yankees being interested in a ton of guys, but the Max Scherzer market has for sure heated up. The Yankees are on a team that's going to get Max Scherzer. Mets are going to get Max Scherzer. He would literally decline the trade. The Max Scherzer has a list of teams that are possibly he wants to go to, and neither Yankees or Mets are one of those teams. Trevor Story market is heating up. Giants, and it's pretty much down to the Giants or the Yankees. Chris Bryant, it's pretty much down to the Giants trying to get Chris Bryant. This is huge news for the trade market. Joey Bart and Helio Ramos still possibly going to be dealt. Maybe Miami makes a deal with Pablo Lopez, which it's talked about a really low sell. But if Miami could somehow attach Richard Blyer or attach one of the young guys of the Miami Marlins, which is something I'm going to go into in my second channel, talking about how the 2020 draft class might be dealt. At least one of the guys, Jake Eater, Max Meyer, those guys might as well be dealt for an all-star center fielder like Cedric Mullins, which has been spoken about, maybe even for Brian Reynolds. But this move that the Marlins made makes way for one of those guys to be dealt. I will go into a lot of detail about that trade for sure. A lot to talk about there. But going back to the scenario we're talking about with Max Scherzer, Chris Bryant, all those guys are probably all going to be dealt. It's pretty much known they're going to be dealt. Everyone is untouchable, but the man himself, Juan Soto for the Nationals. And then Trey Turner's situation is he was pretty much brought out, taken out of the game yesterday, and then we find out he was positive for what I'm not going to say because YouTube is going to do some bad stuff to my videos that I do not want that to happen. So besides that, there's not much more news. I'm going to check up one more time on Twitter. I'll let you guys know right now. Okay, so pretty much I just made a Twitter check. I have to check during the video filming. The only other players that I really mentioned are Bruce Dargatterall, who is one of the Dodgers relievers or pitchers. He's up for grabs. That's pretty much about it, man. I mean, not much more to say. Trey Turner is obviously one of those guys who's heating up in trade conversations. We're probably going to get a big-time deal probably after I post this video. So, once again, thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel and our other channel, the Miami Marlins channel, where once after the whole trade deadline is done, I'm planning on making a big video on here talking about each single trade that went down for every team. And then on the Marlins end, we'll make one for the Marlins. And, I want to try to bring on some guys talking about these moves that happened. Trying to go to Octavio, trying to get the man, the man, the myth, the legend, Octavio Segura, my man, my guy. He's a co-host of this YouTube channel when it comes to live streams. So it's just good to know. Gonna be posting content here, mainly MLB right now. I mean, NFL is coming back for sure. Xavier Howard talk there. I'll probably make a video on that. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.